Welcome to the American Manufacturing Association. We travel across the country to connect with the people and companies shaping the future of U.S. industry. Join us as we explore manufacturing innovation, real stories of growth, and the drive behind the products that keep America moving forward. This is Made in America.
We're actually at Whelan's shop here in Denton, Texas, and Saga Machine Company.
Yes, sir.
And so, Whelan, thank you for having us here and walking us through your shop earlier and talking a bit about your business and your needs and how you came to be. And so, give our watchers here a little bit of an introduction on what does your company do, what are you really great at, and how did you get started?
Okay. Lord, first, thanks for coming and doing the interview and walking us through the shop. You guys are always welcome here. I appreciate that. So a little bit backstory on us. I've started manufacturing and machine shop in my early 20s. My dad owned a machine shop for 23 years, and so I worked underneath him, and that's kind of how I learned what we're doing today.
So is this a generational business?
Yeah, that's kind of where the name Saga came from. So
Yeah.
It's just a continuation. My grandfather, my dad's dad, was a welder in manufacturing for years, retired from welding. And then my dad started at, I think, about 18 or 20 years old in a machine shop. In his 40s, he started his own shop in Irving, Texas. And they got pretty big and are pretty well known, and retired and sold it. And so my co-partner Nathan and I decided to kind of start this place. We watched these guys do it and thought, man, if these guys can do it, we've got a shot. So,
I think a lot of businesses start that way.
Yeah. It wasn't quite as easy as I thought it would be, but it never is. So,
Never is.
we decided Denton because I lived here. This shop is about 10 minutes from my house, so that makes it convenient. Nathan is just up the road in Gainesville, so it was a convenient location, and this is where we settled.
Yeah. And Denton is part of what we call, North DFW, North Texas.
Right.
And there's a lot of aerospace defense companies are in North Texas. So it really makes sense to be up here. What are some of the companies that you're doing business with?
So we do we're a build-to-part shop. So we do a lot of farm-out parts from other bigger machine shops. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, we're a job shop, right? So whoever's paying the bills, that's what we're doing. But we're a build-to-print shop. So they send us a print, we build it.
Right. You may not know what the part is.
Right. A lot of
what
times
it does,
we don't.
What it goes to.
A lot of
Yeah.
times we don't. Now our scope is to focus on aerospace and defense industry, and that's what we grew up doing, and that's what we specialize in.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of lathe turning parts, 3 and 4 axis mill run parts. So we've got plenty of experience in defense and aerospace industry. What sets us aside on that is we're an AS 9100 company.
Okay.
So we have the certification to do this work for direct tier 1s and primes.
Yeah.
We have some that we do direct for, and then we have some that we do as a second or third party. So for example, we'll do some Lockheed parts, but it may not be directly through Lockheed.
Yeah.
Although we're trying to onboard with them right now. They're a big name. Most people know who Lockheed is.
I think most people have heard of them.
Yeah. So Parker Hannafin is another big one that we do direct for.
Uh-huh.
And that's been a newer relationship in the last couple of years, but it's been great. It's really transformed the shop to a smaller run part to more of a production run machine shop.
Yeah.
And everybody likes doing small run stuff until you get it. Production is where it's at, right? So if you got production, machines are going, guys are busy, that's where you want to be at.
Yeah. You want your machines printing money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're little investments right there. So, that's kind of where we're trying to get to. So get direct with these Lockheeds, these Raytheons, the Parkers, the bigger guys, and still keep the smaller guys that have kept us in business this far. So we've got machine shops, Davis Manufacturing, that will send us over parts. We do direct for them, and they've been a lifesaver, kind of helped us get this thing off the ground. So got to give kudos to them. But yeah, that's kind of where the direction we're headed in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you mentioned AS 9100, and that's one of your big things that kind of makes you a little bit unique.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about that? Like, what does that mean, and what did it take to get there?
So yeah, that was it was a difficult task. Basically, what it means for us is that with this certification, we are allowed to do RFQs, quotes, for the defense contractors directly and aerospace companies. Most of these guys won't talk to you if you don't have it. I know some shops that still do fine without it, but for us, we wanted to do that, so we knew we had to have the certification. There's some other stuff that goes with it, being ITAR registered.
Right.
This comes with the AS9100D as well as the ISO 9001. So that was kind of a package deal on that. The way we decided to go about it is that, hey, we want to do direct work with the partners, with the Raytheons. And the only way we can do that is to have this.
Have that.
They're not going to talk to us if we don't have it.
Yeah.
So, being that we came from a shop that already was AS9100, we were used to doing that kind of work. We knew what it took.
Yeah.
We had a really good quality manual wrote up, and so I took a guy that had been in the business for a long time and was retired. He was with Beacon for like 50 years.
Yeah.
He was their quality manager, and I called him and I said, "Hey, can you put together a quality manual for us that will get us AS9100 certified?" He said, "Sure. For the right price, anything can be done." We also hired a company called Systematic, which is like a consulting team. I don't know if y'all are familiar with them or not, but they came out, helped us with writing this quality manual. Between them, Sean and Tyler Barwick, who's our quality manager now, they wrote up all the information, the QMS system, the procedures, the policies to make that happen.
Yeah.
Once we did that, we got with the company, I believe it's called SBC. They came out, did an audit on it, passed, 0 findings.
Wow.
Every time we've had an audit, it has had no findings. Knock on wood, that keeps happening. Yeah. But we're really particular on how our quality and how we address these values. So every piece of material coming in is marked. There is a line of paperwork that goes back to every part, where it starts, when it comes in the door, and when it goes out the door.
Yeah.
So that is pretty tough to do. It's a lot easier as a small shop.
Oh yeah.
But building it now, as we grow, we'll already have these key functions in place. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was a machinist in the Navy, we would sometimes, we were limited, even though I was on a ship in the Navy, we were limited on the parts that we could actually make. So we could make parts for, pump shafts. We made those several times, or just little bearings, for impellers and that sort of thing. Plates, that had to have holes drilled in them,
Right.
things like that. But a lot of times, somebody would come to us with a part that, if it went to a helicopter or something like that on a ship, or even if it had to do anything with the air department, the pressurized launch system,
right.
anything like that, we couldn't touch it, because even though I was in the military,
Yeah.
we did not have that certification.
Right.
And I know that you have to sometimes trace the part back to where it was drawn out of the earth, like where the minerals came out of the earth,
Right.
so that if there is some sort of mishap, they can trace it all the way down and find out where that fault is, right?
Absolutely.
So getting this certification was really important for you guys.
It was.
And so I imagine it allows you to get more contracts that need those sort of certifications. Did it have an impact on efficiency and how your business is run?
Yes and no. There was obviously an impact just for the initial setup, right?
Mhm.
There was a lot involved in it. But as the as the shop runs, we're used to running that way anyway. Our
Yeah.
travelers we were doing it before we were certified.
Right.
Our material, we were controlling it before we were certified. We were just used to being this kind of a shop.
Yeah.
We didn't know any different.
Right.
So as far as that goes, I would say efficiency-wise,
You were already there.
we were there. As far as setting it up goes, it's time and money, right?
Yeah.
You got enough time, you got enough money, you can make anything happen. So that was kind of the hiccup at the beginning. It's just, okay, how can we fund this? Because it's tough on a small shop, right?
Right.
Most of these guys are spending upwards of $50,000 to get the certification. That's tough on a little guy.
Yeah.
And then having the time to set up here and do some late nighters, break out the coffee pot, and we're going to set up here and write procedures all night.
Yeah.
But I think as a whole, it makes you a better company. Because you know where everything is, the way it's supposed to be done, and how to do it every time. If it's not done that time, it's an obvious, outset to you. You go, hey, there's something wrong here.
Right.
Let's go back and figure it out.
So it does help you with your business.
Yeah.
It didn't help you per se because you were already doing these things.
Right.
But, I think a lot of companies, a lot of smaller shops that don't have these certifications look at this as just some red tape.
Right.
Right? And what I try to tell them is, this doesn't just help you to get jobs, it also helps you to make sure that you're running your business to a quality, standard of quality that is higher than just, winging it all the time.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's like anything else. If you have a system and you do it the same way every time, it's going to be done right.
Absolutely.
And so the more systems you can put into place, and some small shops just don't like to hear that.
Yeah.
Hey, we're used to doing it this way. That's fine. Make a procedure out of it. Make it a system, do it the same way every time.
Yeah.
No matter who you hire or who comes in management, they can follow that system. And, it'll help you grow in the long run. Really.
Absolutely. So we were talking a little bit earlier about valuation of business, and as your 20-year plan when you want to retire, what your business looks like, and a lot of times we're talking to machine shop owners or factory owners who are running a small shop and they want to sell, but they go to sell their company and they find out that their company, even though they've got all this work and they've been making enough money to feed their family, go on some nicer vacations and take their employees out, things like that, that they still, when they go to sell their company, they find out their company is really only worth the building and the machinery. Now, you don't have that. You're already setting up to have more because you've got the certifications. Right. That obviously has some value. But what sort of advice would you give to somebody who is working in a machine shop and thinking that they might need to sell it at some point?
So I haven't gone down that road. But I have watched my dad and his partners go down that road a little bit, and I don't know that I have a lot of great advice because back then I was a button pusher, I was a machine operator, I was a programmer. I didn't get involved with the business. Matter of fact, I didn't know much about business at all until I started this one. So we can run parts, but the business side of it was fairly new. But what I will say is that if you can establish a good customer base, where you have these tier ones, these prime companies that are giving you revolving work, if somebody wants to buy a business, they know, hey, there's steady revenue coming out of this. It's profitable, right?
Right.
There's systems in place to where if something goes down, somebody else can step in. One guy's not running the whole show.
Yeah.
So with a lot of times the smaller shops that I have seen, it's 2 or 3 guys or maybe a handful of guys. And if you lose one of those guys, it's really hard for them to fill that gap.
Yeah.
Or if you lose one contract, you don't have enough revenue coming in to keep things running, So for us, we're trying to plan ahead on that.
Yeah.
So our 20-year plan would, obviously buy property, build a building, get great equipment, put in great systems in place. If somebody wants to come buy that, they're going to go, hey, this is a well-manufactured machine shop that's running at a top 10 rate.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you not buy that? It's printing money, right?
Absolutely.
So that's the goal we're going to get to.
I love how you said that. You're manufacturing a manufacturing company. You're
That's
manufacturing your company.
Right.
So it makes me think, if you're really good at making parts, you should be, taking the same care into building your company.
Absolutely.
Be very purposeful.
Yeah.
You have tolerances just like you do
Right.
for parts, right? What is your risk tolerance? How do you deal with that? So yeah, I love that analogy. Like you're manufacturing your company.
At the end of the day, you're building something.
Yeah.
And that's what our whole goal here is, to build something that's worth the value, right? Not to just collect a paycheck or to go through employees. We're close with everybody here. I mean, this is about as family run as it can be. So, and the guys that we're not directly related to come in, they fit in, they see how we do it, and we treat them like family.
Yeah.
So it's a good environment for us. It's a good environment for the employees, and long term, you're building a place that you want to be, or that another guy would want to be at. So
Absolutely.
manufacturing a manufacturing company.
Yeah.
I like that.
So tell me, like, what is like one of the coolest parts that you've ever had to make?
We've made some really cool stuff, and then a lot of times they won't give me the end use of that, or
Right.
or I'm limited to. Not only here, I've made some really cool parts just in general. The company my dad owned for years, we made a lot of defense parts, and a lot of those parts went to like optical, infrared technology. And so while we didn't have all the details, you would run stuff like 100 pitch threads.
Yeah.
Most people have not seen 100 pitch threads, let alone machine one,
Right.
or could look at it and tell you, well, that's what it was. I mean, a lot of times it looks like a feed line, right?
Yeah.
So that was pretty neat. Some of the tolerances we held, plus or minus a tenth or two.
Mhm.
Just different stuff like that. I worked for Raytheon for a year off of Lemon Avenue,
Right.
and met some great people out there. Some really good engineers, some really good machinists, some guys that have been there for 60 years. And being around those guys and seeing some of the tricks of the trade that they use was really neat. And that was all missiles division. So
Yeah.
obviously you're going to see some really neat parts, and, a lot bigger than I was used to at the time, but still the same. At the end of the day, it's machining, right? So,
Yeah.
And then as far as here goes, we've done some really neat stuff. We did some 3D printed parts. We didn't print them, but we machined them after they were printed.
Uh-huh.
And some of this stuff went to.
So they would make a part,
Yeah.
and then you would have to machine it, and you would have to. So it's additive machining.
Right.
And then you're doing subtractive machining.
Right. Absolutely. So
Gotcha.
these guys would make an additive. I mean, $1 million machines. Really cool. We got to go to their setup, and it was all custom guns.
Oh wow.
So we didn't get too much into the gun side of it, but occasionally they would need a part made and some feeders or something like that.
Yeah.
And we would make some neat stuff for them, and a lot of titanium, some Econels, margining 300 that was 3D printed.
Right.
So just being able to do those kinds of materials that most people don't run or most shops don't run, and then make a good quality part that is a one-off, or there's only 10 of them out there. You're the first one that's ever touched it. So we did quite a bit of prototyping when we first got started. That's kind of how we got going.
Yeah.
So people would just send over a crazy print or a crazy idea and go,
I
hey,
don't
can
know
you
if
make
this is
it?
possible, but you can
Yeah.
try. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think you have to be a special kind of person to make something out of nothing.
yep.
Especially if it doesn't exist. You don't have something that you can look at as an example.
Right.
you know?
Well, I'll say also relationships with engineers,
Mhm.
with buyers, that you can go, hey, I'm looking at this print, but this isn't panning out, or this is going to become a problem. There's something we can do to make this less painful.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of a neat part of it too, that you don't get to see as just a machine operator per se. They go, hey, look, we can do this. Or we need some help here, or we need a cushion here, or are you sure you want it that way? Because from what we're seeing, this may not work out in the end the way you expected it to. So having those relationships is big time.
I bet that can be tough when you don't really know what the part goes to,
Right.
what it does.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, you're following the print, you're following their tolerances.
Yeah.
So, you've got to just hope that their drawings and their 3D models are good, and they're
Right.
right. So sometimes they're not. You get to remake the part. Sometimes it's on your dime. Most of the time it's on theirs. But it's just part of.
Yeah.
It's part of manufacturing. It's part of prototyping.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you see in your shop as far as current trends in the manufacturing world? Is anything changing? You see something coming up on the horizon?
I don't know the full answer to that, but I know that since we've started in the last 5 years, we started 2020, COVID, right?
Yeah.
So everything was shut down. I mean, even when we were starting the business, we couldn't get a bank to open the doors for us. And then
It's hard to do that on a normal day.
Yeah. And then trying to find customers that were willing to come out and tour your facility, or send you an RFQ. Who
Right.
are you? It's COVID. We're working from home. That was pretty tough to get going. So
Yeah.
as far as trend wise now, people are back in the offices. It's easier to get contact. It's easier to get information now. But as you see that going forward, you get buyers that aren't directly in contact with the engineer or with the manufacturer itself. So that can be a little bit challenging. You've got maybe somebody that hadn't had 2 or 3 years experience, and you're trying to talk shop with them, and you're not going anywhere. So that can be difficult. Usually there's somebody that they can lean on in those situations, but trying to get your point across to somebody that may not have the
They don't understand.
yeah. So that can be difficult. Of course, there's a lot of talk on tariffs and materials. As an ITAR registered shop and an AS91, most of our stuff is related to the defense or aerospace industry.
Yeah.
So everything has to be a DFAR material. You have to buy in the United States.
Right.
American manufactured materials. So we have found some uncomfortable situations where we can't find the material, or it's not going to be off of the mill until December, and your parts are due in October.
Yeah.
That's kind of been a tough role to play, and then going back and forth with the buyers and going, hey, love to make your lead time here, but there's no material available.
Right.
That hadn't happened a whole lot, and it seems to be getting better.
Okay.
And hoping as American manufacturing comes back around, that we'll have less of a gap right there.
Yeah.
And then there's times where you've got people that want to offer you, companies that want to offer you non-American, non-DFAR material, and you just got to flat out turn them down.
Right.
Hey, we can't do it.
Can't
Sorry,
use it.
it's not allowed in the shop. So I'm hoping that it's going to trend upwards on the American manufacturing, the machine shops, the manufacturing, the outside processors that are here locally in the United States start seeing an influx of work.
Yeah.
More orders, right? More
Absolutely.
production. Let's help revitalize the surge that is going to be taking place, or that may take place. So, and that's where we want to be in. That's where our heart's at. And at the end of the day, that's why we started this company, is to be a part of that.
Absolutely.
So I'm hoping that trends up. We'll see, and I have high hopes for it.
How about logistics? Have you had any issues with getting things mailed to you, getting parts out? Has cost gone up?
I haven't seen a huge increase on cost. Most of the stuff that we're doing is local, and I've got a driver that will show up a couple times a week or whenever he's called and say, hey, can you hit these places? Can you pick up materials? Can you drop off? That's helped. We're not depending on a courier or an outside shipping company to do that. Some of the out-of-state stuff, we have no choice. But really, I haven't had any hang-ups. We haven't had lost packages. Shipping seems to be fairly reasonable. We're making smaller parts, mind you, so it could be different if you were, doing heavier.
Pallet wrap it,
Right.
send it out.
So, no, I haven't seen a huge problem with that yet. I could see that maybe being a little bit of an offset as we grow. But it's like anything else, right? Put the right people in the right places.
Yeah.
Give them the opportunity to show they can do it, and then let them do it.
So let's talk about in your business, and you've taken this quite a ways in 5 years.
Yep.
What is your next step?
Well, that's always the plan and the goal, right? So it's always changing. We do a yearly evaluation, and I say yearly evaluation. I feel like we talk about this monthly.
Yeah.
But so our next step is to really get noticed and get in with some bigger tier ones and primes, so that we can increase production. It's the question that's always asked: what's your capacity?
Yeah.
Well, right now we've got plenty. So to get more work in here, with the idea to grow the company, right? So we're 4 machines right now. We're hoping by end of next year, beginning of next year, we're looking at maybe adding a couple more machines.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that if you don't have the production coming in.
Right.
So we've got to make those relationships. That's probably the within the next year goal. Let's increase machine. Let's increase production. Let's increase our manpower. I know we could probably use a little help in quality, just for the fact that our one guy is doing all of it, right?
Right.
So he could use some help in there to grow the business wholesomely.
Yeah.
We're not going to go out there and just try to take over the world in a year, right? We grow it at the pace that we can grow at. We're not going to overdo ourselves, but we don't want to underdo ourselves either. So,
Right.
I think that's the short-term goal, is to just increase some production and some manpower, and maybe a couple more machines. And then so long-term, in the next 3 to 5 years, we'd like to have a piece of land. That's the thing. We want to buy our own property.
Yeah.
We want to build our own building, or buy a building that's already on the property that will fit our needs. We want to have room to grow from there. If we're going to start at 5,000 square feet, can we get to 10,000 square feet? How much machinery can we put underneath that roof? So to grow it wholesomely and to stay in that defense industry and to keep production coming where we go, okay, there are steady contracts, there are steady orders coming through, we know that we can afford to go out and get a couple more machines or to buy a piece of property. So
Yeah.
that's the long-term goal there.
So you mentioned a little bit about potentially hiring another quality person.
Yeah.
So I know your team is really tight knit. So
Yeah.
you and I were talking already. You have 4 machines, but you're able to do more with those 4 machines than most,
Right.
because your team is so tight knit, and because you guys have documentation and processes to really make sure that you're running your shop as efficiently as possible.
Right.
So what does it look like when you think about hiring somebody into your team to keep it cohesive, to keep it a nice tight knit team?
Right.
Like, what is your plan there?
So it starts with us. We train well. Hopefully we've got a decent guy that wants to learn and expand his realm on. It just kind of depends on what you get. If you get a guy with a lot of experience, obviously there's less training. If you get a guy that's not so much experience, then you got to do some more training. So, but to be able to train our guys to follow our system, to go, hey, look, it doesn't always have to be this way. I know there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
But right now, these are the ways we were going to go down. This is how we're going to get that end goal, right? So, trainability on our part, just being really, really vocal and establishing those relationships with guys. Hey, if there's a problem, come talk to me. If something's going well, come talk to me. If something's not going well, come talk to me. Is there a way we can improve this? Depending on the employee, right, or the management. Some people really aspire to be more. And
Yeah.
so if you get a guy like that, hey, maybe you listen. Maybe you go, hey, we could improve upon this. At the end of the day, it's constant improvement. That's what we're doing. We're constantly improving our systems and our situations. So
Absolutely.
that's kind of what we're hoping to do. Bring a guy in, train him up, see where he's at, and then hopefully he'll take off and he'll be training a guy under him in a year or two. So,
Yeah.
that's kind of the plan there.
Awesome. So for other people who are watching this, we may not know where Denton is.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's talk about Denton a little bit. Like, what is your favorite restaurant to go to in Denton?
So Denton's got a lot of really cool places to eat. It's a college town, so it's diverse. There's a lot of diversity in Denton. If you've been to Denton, you probably know that. We've got some landmark, I'd say, places that everybody knows, or when people come to Denton, that's where they're going to go. The Denton Square is a pretty happening spot. There's a lot of good places to eat down there. One of my favorite is like LSA hamburgers. I don't know if y'all been there, but Lone Star Attitude. And,
Yeah.
They've got live music, and the burgers are great. Good cold beer. So how can you go wrong? There's a lot of other little spots around there that are really good. Rooster's Roadhouse. Gotta recommend it. Y'all go eat there. It's totally great. And a lot of little taco places. But for us, I think we hit 2 or 3 places pretty regular.
Yeah.
One of them is kind of a hole in the wall. To me, those are the best kind. A little Mexican food place right down the road called Mi Ranchito. If y'all get a chance, go there. It's awesome food. And it won't break your bank. So, RG's Hamburgers is another really good one. Food wise, we've got some pretty good places.
We were, like I said, we were visiting you a week ago, and we actually went down to Frosty's Burgers down the street.
That's a really well-known place.
Yeah, it looked like it'd been there a while.
It has. I don't know how long, but as long as I've been in Denton, it's been here, and probably a lot longer before that.
I liked it. They had a jukebox and playing rockabilly music, which I like, and
kind of an old school setting.
Yeah.
Occasionally you'll see some old hot rods up there.
Nice.
The place does the business. I'm telling you, to drive out there, there's always a crowd. So we've ate there a few times. It is right down the road. Nathan loves it. My business partner, they eat it all the time. So. That one's a cool place. There's just a vast amount of things to do in Denton.
Yeah.
I know that you're a cigar guy. I am too.
Right.
The Denton cigar place is one of my favorite. I regular there pretty often. So and I know they've got a place up in Louisville now. There's some neat stuff to do around here. Water parks. You name it, they got it.
You mentioned, this is a college town, so this is the home of University of North Texas.
Yeah.
And it was my first choice of a college to go to when I was getting out of the military.
Right.
And this was back in 2004 when I got out. So it was about 2003 is when I started applying. And I really wanted to go to UNT. I went to high school in Mineral Wells, Texas, not too far. And I was in band there, and so our band would take trips to go to UNT, specifically to listen to the 1 o'clock jazz band.
Yeah, they got great jazz there, man.
And I mean, they're good.
Yeah,
they're
really
good. And so I liked UNT. It was back in 2003, 2004. Applying to college was a lot of phone work. They didn't really have online stuff, and so I didn't get in because I had been out of high school too long, and I guess the person who was in the office didn't understand that I was in the military, and so I should have been able to get in.
Right.
But they were like, "Oh yeah, you've been out of high school too long. We recommend you go to a community college first,
right,
and then you can reapply and come back." And I said, "Okay, I'll do that." So ended up going to Weatherford College, which is just a little bit west of here, and that's where I met my wife. So I guess it all worked out.
Yeah. Good thing they said no, right?
But I've always loved going to UNT. It's a really interesting, it's more of an art college, I think, right?
A lot of music. There's some art places around town that you can go that made me think of a story. When I first came to Denton, we used to go to the square. We'd watch live music and country and heavy metal and jazz, you name it. But there was a band that used to play out there, and they were the freshmen. I think, I'll probably get this wrong, but from the UNT freshman jazz band. They were called the UFOs. And I don't know if they just changed, students every year, and they were the new UFOs, but we went and saw them. It was so cool, man. Because it was music that you understood, that you could relate to, that you recognized. But it was all jazz, it was all horns. It was so neat. I haven't seen them in years, but that was. And then right after that, there'd be like a heavy metal band on. So just go from one into the other. So, a lot of stories been made in Denton. It's a good town. A lot of college guys that we've actually interned a couple of their engineering program students. Glad to be sharing that with them. And I think they're going to try to start some manufacturing educational programs up there, and we're going to try to get involved with some of that as much as we can. But neat place, good place to be. It's kind of 30 miles north of Dallas, and so it's away from the Dallas Fort Worth, but not so far that you can't connect with customers.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not too far to get down to DFW Airport and go to anywhere in the world.
Absolutely.
So you guys are recently signing up to be part of American Manufacturing Association. What are your thoughts on that? What is your biggest motivation, and what are you hoping to get out of that?
So, I think for me, relationships in life, general relationships makes everything. I mean, there's some things that have happened for me that are unexplainable, right? Mm-hmm. People that you meet, situations you come across, relationships is everything. And so when I met you guys, I think on one of the networking events that y'all invited me to. Number one, I liked y'all, and that makes a big difference. I like the group of people. with different associations, at the end of the day, it's networking, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to connect with opportunities for more work, or to help out an outside process, or to bring in material, or to just things in general we don't know about.
Yeah.
The banking side of it, there's a lot of different parts in just owning a small shop or small business in general,
Yeah.
that you don't know off the bat. So the more network you can do, the better connections you can make, the better you can improve yourself, right?
Absolutely.
And in return for us, if we can help somebody, then why wouldn't we? You know? So I think that for me is why I like y'all's program and y'all's association, is you meet people that are in manufacturing.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily going to just hang out. And I want to build those relationships. You know, if there's guys, I met a guy the other day, and I'll forget his name, but they make some kind of agricultural product. You'll remember his name probably.
Oh, yes.
But
Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff. Great guy. I loved his outlook on his business and where they came from. Listen to other people's stories, how they got started is awesome. But he may not need a machine shop right now.
Right now. Yeah.
I may not need any agricultural products right now. But as it works out, because I met that guy and he goes, "Hey, I got a part down, or I've got a machine down. Can you help me fix that?" That's a connection, right?
Absolutely.
Or if I meet my buddies that are, we're making tractor parts. Hey, do y'all know a good, company that does agricultural products?
Yeah.
Hey, here, talk to Jeff. So, just having that, I think, means a lot to me. Obviously, at the end of the day, we're trying to get more orders. We're trying to get more production. So, if we can help each other do that, bridge some gaps. Maybe I don't know anything about what you're doing, but if it comes across my desk and I can't do it, hey, y'all go talk to George.
Yeah.
And I want that same,
Absolutely.
the same feedback. So.
One of my favorite quotes, and many people have said it in different ways. I like to attribute it to Eisenhower, who said that all boats rise with the tide.
Right.
And that's something that I strive for in my business relationships. It's definitely part of the the reason why we created American Manufacturing Association. We want everybody to become better by being in the same harbor.
Right.
And we all do different things. Even other machine shops,
right?
Even other consultants. We kind of do the same thing, or maybe we do the exact same thing, but it doesn't matter because we can all help each other, and there's definitely enough business out there. There's enough things that need to happen in this world that we could definitely use each other's help.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about creating, not competition, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, there's plenty out there, and if you believe the way I believe, there's more than you can handle. So I think y'all guys will be great. I look forward to doing more with y'all. I'll promote y'all as much as you can. Likewise.
Appreciate that. Yep.
So just let me know if y'all ever need anything.
All right. And for you guys watching, this is to find out more. You can go to our website. It's AmericanMFGAssociation.com or AMFGA.com, and find out more information. If you're in the Dallas area, come hang out at one of our happy hours. We have a retreat coming up in October, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun at that. And so I invite you to come check us out.
Very good.
Thanks a lot, Waylon. I appreciate it again.
George, my pleasure, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.